Alright, so welcome back. In today's video, we're going to look at remove directory command and the remove command. The remove directory command deletes an empty directory. If it's not empty, it won't be deleted. Alright, so let's try and use this command. So first up, we want to check where we are. We want to print the working directory. We can see we are inside home section. I'm also going to ls. We can see we have 3 files. I'm going to make a directory. Specify the p flag because I want to make multiple directories. So dir1, dir2. So if I ls now, you can see now we created this dir1. So if I ls dir1, you can see we have dir2 inside dir1. So we're going to use the remove directory command. So let me clear this first and ls so that we can see what we have. So I'm going to say remove directory. Let's try and remove dir1 and see what happens. So it says failed to remove dir1, directory not empty. So going back, deletes an empty directory. If it's not empty, it won't be deleted. Let's create another directory, make dir. This one I'm going to call it new d. And let's ls and see. So now we have directory 1 and new d, but directory 1 has another directory inside it. It's not empty, but we know new d is empty. So if we try and ls new d, you can see it's empty. So we can remove this with remove directory because this command removes empty directories. So new d, and if I ls now, we no longer have that new d over here, right? So I'm going to clear this. So let's jump on to the next command that we're going to learn today, remove. So this one is used to delete files. You can also delete directories if you specify options or flags. So some of the flags that we have is, we have the D flag for deleting an empty folder, I flag for showing a prompt before deleting something, the R flag for deleting recursively, F to delete without a prompt, so it's the opposite of I, and then RF deleted directory and all its contents. All right, so you have to keep this in mind. Don't just go around deleting stuff. I will have to say this. Don't just go around deleting stuff. Otherwise, you're going to break the system. So let me go back into our command prompt. So I'm going to ls again and see what we have. And so I want to create an empty file. We're going to look at the touch command later on. This is how you create a new file. If I want to create a new file, you can use the touch command. So I'm going to call it play.txt. So now if I ls, you can see now we have the play.txt. This is a file. It's empty, by the way. We want to remove this play text. So we can say remove play.txt. If I ls now, you can see that play.txt is no longer here on the list because we removed it. So this rm is used to remove files. If we let's try to remove directory 1, this one that we have here, dir1. We can see cannot remove dir1 is a directory. So this is used to remove files. However, you can remove directories if you use these flags. So let's look at each and every one of these flags. So the D is used to delete an empty folder. Let me clear first. And we're going to create a new directory. Let me make dir new D. And let me ls to see. We have the new D here. We know it's empty. So if I rm-d, which is our flag, and then new D, we want to remove this directory. So this D flag tells this remove command that we are removing a directory. So if I press enter and ls again, you can see that new D is no longer here. It has been removed. So this command is similar to remove directory. It can remove an empty directory. The next flag that we're going to look at is the I flag. The I flag shows a prompt before deleting. So let's say you want to delete something. It shows you a prompt and you then go on to press a Y for yes and for no. So let's say we wanted to remove this not.txt. So I could say rm, but because I want a prompt before I remove this file, -i and then not.txt. So if I press enter, you can see remove regular file, not txt. I don't want, so I'm going to press no, N for no. If you press Y, it's for yes. I'm not going to remove it. Let me ls, you can see it's still there. However, if you press yes, it's going to remove that. So this is a good practice, by the way. Sometimes you want some kind of a prompt before you delete your files, because certain files are important, right? You might delete files by mistake. You won't be able to recover those files. So by passing this flag, then it's going to prompt you. Let's look at the next flag. The next flag is going to be R. R means delete recursively. So we have seen that this direct1 has a folder inside it. It's not empty. If we try to remove dir directory1, you can see failed to remove directory1, directory not empty. So how do we then remove a directory that has got something inside it? So we can use the rm, but this time we pass in a flag r, which means recursively. So recursively is going to repeat that action. So if you have directory 1, it's going to remove that, and then if inside there is another one, it's going to remove that as well. So I'm going to say dir1. If you press enter, now if you ls, you can see we no longer have this directory 1. So you should pass in this flag. This is how you remove directories that have got content inside them. The F is the default behavior. You delete something without being prompted. That's what we usually do, right? We just remove stuff without a prompt. And then the last one is the RF, remove something recursively without a prompt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a directory again, and I'm going to use that P. Use the P flag to create multiple directories in a hierarchy. So this is what it means, the P. So I'm going to go for dir1, and then you separate them with a / dir2. I can go on to say dir3. So I've created 3 directories inside one another. This is inside directory 2, directory 2 is inside directory 1. So these two are inside directory 1. This is the parent directory. So if I ls now, you can see we have directory 1, and let me clear. If I ls directory 1, you will see it has directory 2. If I ls directory 1 / directory 2, now we can get directory 3. Let us cd into directory 1. Okay, now we are inside directory 1. Let us ls to see we have directory 2. We also want to create a file here, so I'm going to touch not. It means I'm going to create that not. So if I ls now, you can see now I have directory 2 and not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cd back into my parent directory. How do we go back? We use a tilde like this, or we just use the cd command. So it's going to take me back to my home directory, which is this section. All right, so if we ls, you can see we have directory 1. Inside it, we have directory 2 and not. Inside directory 2, we have directory 3. So we want to remove those recursively, so we can use rf recursively without prompting us. Remove directory 1. If I ls now, everything is gone, just like that. But remember, once you remove something, you cannot recover it. So you have to be sure of what you're removing. All right, so I hope this is helpful. If you do have any questions, please leave them in the comment section. If you haven't subscribed, remember to do so. Leave a like, leave a comment. I'll see you in our next tutorial. For now, I'm out. Bye-bye.